Hello everyone and welcome to the new LNG Taxi Vlogging podcast. You already know this, you've seen the title, you've subscribed to us, you've hit that like button and everything else. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around this beautiful world of ours. And this is the subject for today. It's a touchy one, folks, it really is a touchy one. I'd like to introduce you to my friend here who's been getting a hell of a lot of abuse since he done his last podcast. Basically, he's been called, he doesn't know what he's doing. Basically, he's been told, you don't know the rules and regulations of this job. And also, he's been called, quite politely, a fuckwit. Now, that's a bit harsh. He's not really one of those. But hey, this is what we're here to talk about. So, Gary, what are we talking about today?
Well, today on the podcast, get a bit closer in there, miles away on it.
You're miles away back.
Miles away the back here. Today we're talking about, it's written down because I forget it. So what's wrong with being able to work any area? And also, we're going to look at cherry picking. Is it acceptable if you cherry pick? Or are you just being selfish?
Okay, so part one and part two of this is going to be like this. Part one, we're going to talk about right now about this whole working in different areas and why do people think that it's not allowed when it is allowed. And yes, we do know what we're talking about because if I'm right, the rules and regulations and legislation state, I'm just saying, that as long as somebody has called up your hub where you get your jobs from, whether you be an operator, whether you work for a taxi firm, private hire, you can go and pick up in whatever area you have been told to go and pick up in. So, I think that answers one of the questions that got Gary called a fuckwit and saying that he didn't know what he was doing. I like this word. I might be using it quite a lot in this show. So, do you agree? Do you concur with me on this one?
Yeah, also as well, when I made that video last Friday, I was talking about Uber only. Uber, you can work legally in the Northwest, East and West Midlands.
In case people don't know yet in the UK, especially up here in the Northwest, you can now work all of the Northwest, East Midlands and West Midlands as well. That is what you can work if you are working in the Northwest on any kind of Liverpool badge, Manchester badge. On Uber. Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You due to your any kind of plate that you're on in the Northwest and you're on Uber,
stressing
you
the
can
word
go in those.
On Uber.
On Uber.
On Uber only, okay, on Uber, because people were thinking that I was saying you can work on any plate, anywhere.
No.
On any company you can't.
See, this is why he forgot to put in. This is why...
I did put it in, but people didn't listen.
This is why people need to listen to what I'm telling you. It's on Uber. Okay, so on Uber you can go and work in those areas that we've mentioned.
And you're insured.
And you are insured and legally able to do that. What I'm trying to say to you is that if you are just a normal private hire and you have been called, like I said, either on your own landline as an operator or you work for a certain taxi firm and they get the call. So you could be, let's just say for me, for instance, here I am in Formby and I get a call to go to Manchester to go and pick somebody up at the Ivy restaurant. It's absolutely allowed. I am able to do that because it's come through to my direct line for me to do, which I am insured to do.
And it doesn't have to go back to your local area.
It doesn't have to go back to the local area. They don't have to ring up a Manchester firm just to get themselves back over here. So for some people out there that think that we don't know exactly what we're talking about, listen, 89% of the time we'll probably get it wrong, but the 11% we're actually going to get it right.
Or vice versa.
No, I'm going to say that because most of the time everyone says we're wrong anyway, so I'm going to go for the 89%.
Oh, well, right. So that is the thing with that. Now, imagine if we had, and this should come, imagine if we had a national taxi authority which dealt with every license for a taxi driver, and we could one body would license everybody in the country without having all these councils, because let's not forget, your local council uses your taxi license money as a cash cow. It doesn't go, it goes to all their other bits and bobs in the council. So all these hundreds of councils we have across the UK, all taking taxi licence money off you, really wouldn't be better to have one licensing authority to cover the whole of the country, and the license is the same everywhere, like one uniform license, you know, for your car. Because at the minute, you can pass your license for a car in Sefton, but fail it in Liverpool, or fail it in Birmingham, or fail it anywhere. So let's have one fits all. So we have a national standard for every cab driver in the country.
The only reason I can honestly think that some of this is not going to work for a lot of you people out there, don't get me wrong, I like the idea about it, and I only like the idea from a customer's perspective on this, is the fact that I've said in previous podcasts that, you know, I am a Hackney cab driver, but I'm on a Sefton plate, which means when I go into Liverpool city centre, I can't pick anybody up in Liverpool city centre as a Hackney cab. I've got to wait and come all the way back until I get into the Sefton borough before I can pick up again, which there are customers down there that have actually tried to jump in, which I've had to say no, and it can't be done. Now, there's got to be some drivers that will probably say, just do it anyway.
Oh,
You're not meant to. It's illegal. You're not insured for it. Then if anything, God forbid, was to happen. So
why don't we get rid then of like Hackney private hire? Just call it taxi. Call everyone taxi. Would that be better as well?
No, because private hire is not taxi.
Yeah,
this is this age-old argument is that the private hire is not exactly taxi. You know what I mean? That you don't go.
We can make it taxi, couldn't we?
I don't know.
Like private, just we're all doing the same job, aren't we? Really? So what's the difference?
I just think that basically, if you are territorial,
and lots of drivers are,
territorial,
for whatever reason,
is that this is the reason why they don't. Now I could be wrong. But I'm going to say, like, if you look at the bigger cities like London and Birmingham, you might have different Hackneys on different badges, especially like you do in London, and that might be the reason why you wouldn't want that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, and I'm just speculating.
I just think we should have one national licensing authority to license it, and you paid your money to one organisation.
Yeah, but then is it going to be a case of, is this again, you know, is this going to be one of those things where the government's going to know everything that a taxi driver does?
Well, so be it. That's the way of the world now, isn't it? How many people now pay cabs on cards? Even not Uber, but even you have a sum up card, don't you?
No, I do.
So that goes in your bank. So more and more now, people are paying on card. Goes through your bank, so the government will know anyway. So,
but is this because we're becoming now like a cashless society?
Well, we are becoming a cashless society, yeah. That's why Uber has got so big, because people don't like carry cash. Under 25s, under 45s now as well don't carry cash anymore.
All we're saying to you out there is the fact is, look, there's arguments for this and there's arguments against it. And obviously, whenever Mr. Fuckwit puts anything up on this thing, you know what I mean.
Let's just have a national license.
He just loves staring at the pot. He really does. We've had this argument. I think it would be a great idea, but like I said, just for
work anywhere in the country.
A customer's benefit, which is, are we giving Uber too much leeway on everything to change the rules?
And why the drivers hate Uber as well? Why do so many drivers hate Uber? Don't get it. Uber gives a good service, competitive price, the customers love it, growing all the time. Why do all of that hate Uber?
You say competitive price, but when you hit the surges, they're not really competitive.
The surge not really happening anymore.
But if that was the case, I mean, look, it's. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, okay? If Uber are doing surge prices the way they are, I have seen a lot of Hackney drivers literally jump out of town to go to the football stadiums or wherever else when the football's kicking out. So this could lead on to the next bit. Are they cherry picking on the jobs, or are they just trying to get to the thing?
Right.
The thing is this. Every taxi driver cherry picks. Shouldn't do, but we do. That's exactly what we do. On
cherry picking, right. Answer this.
Okay.
If you're like, I said a thing and I got moaned at as well. I said a thing on Uber. If your acceptance rate is less than 50%, right?
Yes.
You know, why are you knocking so many jobs back? And people were telling me, oh, the fuel cost, this, that. If you start cherry picking your jobs, right? Are you being selfish? You are letting customers down, aren't you? Right or wrong?
Oh, here we go. Right, okay.
Simple answer.
No,
Right or wrong?
it's a simple answer, yes, and you've made a very, very good thing for you. You will say that we are letting the customers down.
I'll tell you a story about last night. Last night on Uber, late at night, I had a man, a woman, and a baby, and they were at a station in Knutsford, and they were trying to get an Uber home. Their trip was £4, three or £4. Every driver rejected it. Every driver. They were waiting there for 25 minutes, and I think it was like 7 or 8 Ubers all rejected the job. I took the job. They got in the car. They then changed the destination, and it went £15. But they could be waiting there all night. Is it selfish of drivers to knock back jobs? It's not the customer's fault that the fuel prices have gone up. That's not the customer's fault. You know, why not knocking back cherry picking jobs? To me, is like, it's immoral.
I just went somewhere else on that story. Well, as soon as he started, he said there was a man, a lady, and a baby. I was going, and then there's a manger, and they all got into his car, and everything
Late
was
at
all
night.
happy. Yeah, late at night, and there was
But
no
that-
room.
but
There
like,
was no room at the inn.
Just imagine if you want to get home, and because it's not worth it.
I get where you're coming from. It's not right, but there's
You're a public service.
listen. There are the decent taxi drivers out there, and listen. Yes. There's not a lot we can do about the whole fuel crisis thing. It's not down to us. It's not us, and we get it.
And we can't blame the customers for it, can we?
I'm not going to deny it. The fact that where I was usually putting in £40 a day, on most days now I'm actually putting in £80 because it's gone up through the roof.
Time for the hybrid.
Yes, you would say that, yeah. But the thing is, hey, it's still me baby, and I love it to bits. But this is a tough one.
It's like
it's a tough one.
Not knocking back jobs. Drivers who knock back jobs.
Look, the argument is this: we're all self-employed drivers.
Well,
that's what we are.
Self-employed, aren't they now as well?
Well, you are now, but you're still classed as self-employed, aren't you?
And they still knock jobs back all the time.
You're still classed as self-employed.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Listen, that's only what yous out there can actually tell us as to why you want to.
They're telling me it's £8 a gallon. They're telling me, you haven't got a clue. Some people don't even think I'm a driver, but I am. I've been here 27 years, but I don't knock jobs back because we're doing a public service, and the more jobs you do, the more money you make. Okay, I don't run ridiculous distances. I won't run 20 minutes for a £3 job, but I'll run within 15 minutes of any job, really.
Basically, it's just listen for the people out there. There's certain taxi drivers out there that we like to call you lot the 9-to-5ers. I've got them around where I am in Formby, which is this. They start work at 9 o'clock and they finish at 5 o'clock, and then they moan about the fact that they haven't made enough money for the day. This job was never made to be easy. You had to put the hours in to sort of like get the rewards.
And at the minute the job has gone a bit quiet as well, so you've got to put a little bit more hours in, which means that stop knocking jobs back.
Certain areas, I will say that they've got a bit quieter, but there's certain bits where it's actually sort of like picked up, especially around where we are at this moment in time in Formby, because we've got a driver shortage in Formby. So if there's any drivers out there that in the northwest that want to sort of like come along, please do, because we're absolutely short on drivers at this moment in time.
Imagine if 60 all turned up tomorrow. They'd hate him, wouldn't they?
God. Then the next podcast would be for anyone else in the area who needs drivers. Please take all the ones from me. No, but this is the thing. The less drivers, people are going to moan at me now and going, Nancy, the less drivers that there are, the more work that there is. That's true.
If you don't knock it back.
But the problem is this. The longer the waiting time, the more the people are going to go and change and go to a different company. That's what I'm seeing at this moment in time. And the thing is that these sneaky bastards and all the other Uber sort of like drivers at this moment in time are starting to, this is where they're making their killing. It's the fact that they are now jumping on the fact that people are starting to sort of like get sick to death of their own little private hire companies and starting to call up an Uber. And this is why, for me personally, I would say I would like a Hackney plate that sort of gives me free reign around Liverpool to do exactly No. I think we should start off regional work first, not national, regional. For the simple reason being is that there's smaller towns and smaller cities. So, like I said, if there's different councils in them ones, you know what I mean, start off small and then see how it goes. The experiment might not work whatsoever. It might cause complete and utter chaos. We don't know. I'm only saying it from a northwest Liverpool point of view. There's probably going to be Liverpool Hackney drivers that are going to go and go, shut the up, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I'm just saying what I'd like to see for my own benefit, you know what I mean? Because I'm sick to death of the fact that I can't work in any area and he can.
Right,
That's
anyway.
what it is. So basically, it's a little bit of the Green Eye Monster with me. You could say that's a little bit of the Green Eye Monster, but that's my choice.
And that's the way it is. Right, we're on the Facebook pages, all over them. Leave your comments on the Facebook pages, leave your comments on the YouTube channel. Next video coming up, mileage we pay, Liverpool, Manchester, Stoke.
Why have you gone so fast?
Because I'm looking at the clock.
Oh, right, okay.
I've got to go to work.
You've got to go to work.
In my Uber. I am a really good driver. And look out for new videos coming up. Mileage we pay, they're good ones. If you're a new driver, mileage we pay are pretty good to look at as well.
Don't forget, always hit the like and the subscribe button. Please leave us the comments.
On your Facebook page or a YouTube channel page, whatever you want to do.
And don't forget, now we are all over the world as well. So to all our people who watch us in South Africa and the States, hello, how are you? All have a lovely, safe time. And to everyone who's still, if you're watching this in Ukraine, you know, fingers crossed for you. And hope everything goes well.
Watching in Ukraine, I think they've all switched off, aren't they, at the minute?
Well, if there's anyone that's all like over there, just
right.
keep safe.
See you in the next one.
Bye bye.